Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Donny Chaingnag. We're live once again from the Full Speed Events Subterranean Studios. For those of you that are asking, yes, we are underground. It is a cellar. It's a proper old beer cellar, hence the name, the Old Beer Cellar Studios. It was a pub in 1876, and it wasn't a pub in 1897. So sometime between the two, it disappeared from being a pub, as the inn and the hotel down the way were built. But dating back a long time, we are down underground. Now, I'm not quite as old as that, and neither is Nonna's, but it is the place to go for food, established and a long-time favourite of all bike riders. And they are the people who are looking after the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingnag Supporters Club. That means that we can bring you the coverage, and of course that we can keep the show on the road. Today we're going to the Champs-Elysees, and as you can see directly below my Instagram social media at Matt Fixer Payne, it is the route details. Champs-Elysees, one of our familiar sections. 6 laps of 6.6k, the climb up to 1.35 to finish at the Lutece sprint at 44.15k. Our riders, well, they are just heading out of the start pens, being led by our yellow beacon, the one and only Ross Downing. And the riders making their way out onto the course. So let's show you the course in a little bit more detail. A big thank you to Zwift hacks. As you can see, we're going to head down around the main part, the spade section, the flat pan section, up and down to the Arc de Triomphe at the top. The finish line up at the Green Arch, going to be a very fun one tonight. It's usually pretty quick. It can be pretty tough. Not splitting the group apart is going to be key. The riders already out and underway and looking pretty good at the moment. Let's dive in with them here on the Donny Chaingnag, a partnership between Downing Cycling and Full Speed Events, part of the Full Speed Events program of supporting the sport. Or rather we aren't, because Zwift has just stopped. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Talk amongst yourselves for the moment. Looks like we're going to just jump back in with the riders here. They're just making the way in and round. Looks like Zwift, the latest update, just jumping in and through at the moment. Always entertaining when that happens. And we'll be back in with our riders very shortly indeed. Thank you very much for bearing with us whilst we await to see just how the riders are rolling. But it looks like the riders underway. They're out on course. Let's jump in with them, hopefully. Here we go. We are in with the ride. So the Chaingnag making its way down underneath the underpass here on Zwift. The riders looking very smooth at the moment. And here on Zwift, we're in with Russ Downing, fuelmachine.co.uk. Russ, of course, fueled by caffeine and just trying to keep the gang holding together as we come out from the underpass, one of the more technical areas of the route. The Bear, our yellow beacon here on the Chaingnag, the man whose bright idea it was to put the gang all together. At the moment, that group continuing to push. Looks like a little bit of a gap starting to open up a little bit closer to the rear of the group, but at the moment, as the gang make their way out and around the circuit, you can just see this gang looking like a big old group. 78 riders in the pack here today. Russ, his heart rate at the traditional low of 81 beats per minute now. Good to see we've got a few of our regular riders on here. Izzy Torrey joining for the Aeonian squad. Izzy in the gang there. You can just see in that with that pink side stripe going across from right to left. You can just see green sleeve on her left, or right hand side of the avatar, but Izzy tucked into the group on the far side of this pack. The group though, one big group and motoring pretty quickly today. Good to see we've got the Royal Navy cycling man himself, John Goffert here. Thank you very much, John, for the email regarding the new name and the way it's changed. And John just tucked on the far side of this group. We're just going to take a quick roll around. We should be able to get in with John. So John in here, and John in the blue there, the Royal Navy cycling as he makes his way around in with the group just on the back of the group. Got one or two people just yo-yoing around the back. Liam Mazzoni just tucked in at the back here. Looks like that's going to be Christian Mennel also in the mix. I think we're likely to be joined by Neil from the Crosscast, Neil from Gritty. Making an appearance as well. Just waiting to see where he joins us in with the group. But as we come around, making our way up towards the banner, we're going to head up on to the hillside and make our way up towards the Latouche sprint. So, the orange banner is not the finishing line. A quick reminder, if you missed the start of the show, we do 6 laps of 6.6k, and then we do the final climb of 1.35. The finish line is at the Latouche Sprint Arch, the green arch. We always have a fixed point for the end of the Chaingnag. So we will have 6 laps to go when we hit the line at the top. Tracy clearly getting confused which day is what today. Tracy having ridden on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday as well. So the Tuesday Donny's Chaingnag for members. The Wednesday Wildman was only Wednesday Chaingnag. And as well on the Thursday Donny Chaingnag, which is open to everybody who registers. The gang who have registered on the way on the climb. The gang on its way up. Just in with Liam Mazzoni, this whole group of riders coming through. Because we've got Wayne Barr back in. Wayne, I think, was out actually on the other side of the world not too long ago. Good to see he's back in with us once again and made his way in. So good to see you on board. The riders on the way up the climb here. Just see on our 3D view, top right-hand side of the screen. Our riders looking very smooth at the moment, making their way up there. Currently, remember, of course, we are on the late join. Chasing the warmer weather, says Wayne. I don't blame you. It's a great pleasure to cover the BMX World Cup from Road to Earth for rounds 1 and 2 a couple of weeks ago. Going to be bringing the action this weekend in the early hours of the morning with Rich Eames, the BMX commentator extraordinaire. He's going to be joining me in the Full Speed Event studios for rounds 3 and 4 of the BMX. Please do join us for that. It's going out on Discovery Plus. It goes out on Eurosport. It goes out around the globe. It'll be on the UCI YouTube channel as well. Please do join us for that. It's always a cracking event, and the track from Brisbane is looking pretty spectacular. Not as jumpy a first jump, if that makes any kind of sense whatsoever. Now, underneath the banner we go, 6 laps to go. At the moment, everybody in here. Good to see we've got Alice Fonseca in here as well. Alice just on the way back in with us, and Alice riding again yesterday as well. Looks like Callum Craig joining us. Good to see Callum with us. Mr. Hardisty's in here. Miss Cookie tucked on to the back on the way up here. Looks like Sharpie is here. Phil Oliver, Mike Killingsworth. Chris Spare from Rue Morgue just tucked into the back of the group. But as we make our way up here, taking our turn around the top, going out and around the Arc de Triomphe, up in the top of the climb. The group still pretty strung out at the moment. It is not hanging around today. So the gang moving well. They come down past the banner on the opposite side of the road, looking good. That pack, Chris Ball in there, Miss Caitlin in. A gang diving on down here. Mick Clark in here. Keith Richards out on the left-hand side of the bunch. On right-hand side, Wade Barr just yo-yoing off the back and back in again, stretching his legs out, making sure he's right in the spot. Dale Williams apparently has a hideous kit on. Let's take a look at Dale Williams. I'm going to find Dale. He's in here somewhere. Ooh, yes. Definitely an interesting bit of kit. Tucked right in the centre. Not the most pleasing to the eye, has to be said. Definitely going to there. Should you go back to donuts? Yes, we all love the donuts kit, I have to say. So we've got Sean Moore in here. We've got Steve Hilbert joining in as well. All of the riders making their way in. Looks like Breen joining us at Oxenham as well. Nathan from Fellow Bass is in here, and I'm sure I've just seen Neil from the Crosscast from Gritty, one of our key supporters. Don't forget that the Chain Gang is brought to you, and it is only possible because of the support, because of the people that you see across the bottom of your screen. Obviously, we've got Down in Cycling, Russ leading the gang. You've got Full Speed Events, thanks myself at Matt Fixpaint and Biking_Emma. If you want to get in touch with us, supporting the gang, do the admin behind the scenes of the membership, as well as everything else. You can see that Neil from Gritty saying greetings, so let's go from right to left for a change instead of left to right. You've got OTE. OTE are the sports nutrition partners. OTE looking after riders, making sure they're fueled up, that they are hydrated, that they recover correctly. Members of the DCG gang getting 20% off OTE orders. Quick reminder, make sure you get your orders in before the end of March, which is when we finish the gang for the year. Then we have Gritty. Now Gritty, of course, looking after our riders in November. Big discount from them then, and a big discount now, 20% off with that discount code for members of the DCG gang, the Donny Chain Gang Supporters Club. Nonners are, of course, our supporters this month. It was great to see our riders down there. The hardcore making the way to Nonners for a great meal out. A massive thank you to Stefano and Maurizio and all of the team at Nonners for looking after everybody. An absolute pleasure to be down there, and great to see everybody, and brilliant to see. So please do come. Go down and see Stefano down there. Support the people who support your sport. Now, got to say a big thank you to Halo. Halo, of course, putting the wheels on. They are the people who have shod Russ's bikes over the years with carbon of the best caliber, as well as aluminium hoops. So if you're in the market for some of the best wheels out there, then jump on board with Halo. Josh, of course, a regular on here as well. You'll need some tyres to do that. Goodyear's bike tyres, 30% off the price of Goodyear bike tyres, and 30% off Continental tyres, courtesy of Cambrian Tyres. A massive thank you to Shelley, a long-time supporter of the gang, along with all of the people that you can see on the bottom of your screens. And a big thank you, of course, to 1080, the best in the business. You want to protect your eyes. There is only one brand as far as I'm concerned. That is Oakley. It is something that as somebody who has to spend a lot of time staring at the screen, you get your new prism lenses in there, which are designed for gaming. They're going to give you a lot of clarity. They're going to stop your eyes. They're going to have that blue filter on to stop you from damaging your eyes. You can get something that will protect your eyes when you're out on the bike, or of course just to look cool in as well. So get in touch if you're a member of the DCG gang. Then get in touch with it down at 1080. All the details in the members' email that goes out. And a reminder to members that next week we are going to be running in towards the end of the month. So next week is the 29th of February. That will be the last of the February chain gangs. After that, we'll be transferring across to March if you are a member for the month. Thank you so much for donating for February, but please do jump on board for March as soon as possible. That would be much appreciated if you could do that for the last month. We will be focusing on bringing you the rides, and that is going to mean that it will be discounts from all of our key supporters that you see across the bottom of the screen. And you do need to sign up if you want all those links coming in your email. So Mr. Mason, Gareth Mason, saying that if he is in the front group by some minor miracle, that's him in the yellow jersey, the black shorts with the blue stripes on in the centre of the group. Well, if he's in there, he's going to go from 1K out. He's going to do a Vladislav Yakimov. Tom Linley, of course, appreciating the shout and letting him know that that was the tactics in advance. Always handy to know these things. So it is indeed good to see Mr. Hardesty on tonight as well. Plenty of people making their way down on to the chain gang. So our 81 rows making their way up towards the climb that comes in. Rob Hardesty can't type too fast. Yeah, there's plenty of people who are in that same boat. Always amazes me how people can get it down. Although don't forget, you can use voice recognition software now on your computer, if you run on a computer, to put in your message. Lots of people making the way up the climb, putting in power-ups already, I see, in preparation. Plenty of drafts coming in on this section. Mr. Mason. Now let's go back to June 2022. I suspect that is when Mr. Mason had his maximum power to weight ratio, his optimized speed and performance. I was correct. Makes a nice change. So the laps soon tick by as we make our way up with John Dixon here from Bolsover District Cycling Club, one of our regulars in here. Voice recognition no good when you're breathing. Well, quite possibly. The World Tour beating 4.4 watts per kilo. Indeed. Good to see we've got Monsieur Rudditz, also known as Susan, on the gang. I hope Susan's enjoying herself here, making the way up here. So Sean, aka Simon, aka Susan. We could have a lot more before we get to the end of the show, don't you worry. Making its way on the climb, for those not in the know, a name that was garnered at the members' meal at Nonna's. It might have been the result of too many glasses of wine stroke Italian beer. Drink responsibly, folks, and that's what happens. So Joe Gale just down in the back with Christian Mennel just being distanced off the back. He got the reps going at the moment. 109 RPM, but got a little bit of a gap opened up to the back of the group on this climb. Currently only 2% as they make their way up here. So lots of personal bests coming from our riders. Go up through the Latu sprint. We're going to make our way in to the top. Liam Massoni taking on the role of officially or unofficial official lap scorer. Well done, Liam. It's a job. It's a dirty job, but somebody has to do it. Going to steadily work our way through the group here. Greg Pillsworth in here. Lord Greg Pillsworth, good to see him on board once again. We've got Simon Oxenham, always contender. Isaac Oliver in here. Keith Richardson is in the gang. And good to see we've got Alex from Seca with us as well for a second. With the riders just coming back to the Wow Chaingnag yesterday, and also in with the group here today. Riding nice and strongly. So down onto the descent we go. Isaac Oliver tucked into the group here, looking pretty smooth at the moment. Yeah, Leon is indeed very chatty tonight. I think he's looking forward to this. Mr. Burkett in here. Simon Oxen could be one for the long run. Just keeping a quick check. Chris Bourne here. Thank you very much, Chris, for the artwork that you sent through. Much appreciated. I think will be that will come into use fairly shortly, indeed. I think there's a member's email coming up very shortly. So I'm sure I have just seen the one and only Josh Malin from Halo Wheels on board here. Always love it when we get people from the commercial supporters who look after the riders. He's in here in the orange with the red S-Works bike here. Just diving down, and Josh, one of our key supporters. Don't forget, whether you're after sealing for your bike, whether you're after some new hoops, whether you need to get yourself going a little bit quicker, make sure you get in touch with Josh. Members of the DCG gang, Donny Chaingnag support stuff. Don't forget your discount codes are in your emails. You've got not too long before we change over to move into March. And massive thank you to everybody who has supported the gang so far. So down on the descent, they've got good spokes too, says Neil. Yes. They have indeed, actually. I'm still loving my set that they're running. They're on my Enduro bike. They've outlasted me, that has to be said. That's not unusual for kit, but it is for spokes and wheels. That is for sure. Craig Forrester. The odd stat, yes. The Roman Glenron on the Tour of Flanders and en loop, no male riders won that. That may change this year, but we'll see. Yes, has to be in the same year, obviously. Well, not so obviously. Now, good to see we've got Jesse Yates on board here. The man who's been absolutely on form when we've been going up the big climbs. He was on form when we came to the top of Leith Hill. He made that look very easy. Did a great battle between him and Phil Howell. Howell had attacked. Jesse Yates bridged up to him, and then he went over the top. Definitely worth a watch back. The finish of the Donny Chaingnag last week, one of the best finishes, animated by Jesse Yates. Great ride. So the group coming down alongside the Tuileries Gardens are on the left of the riders. You can see the former gardens laid out to the riders' left. Our right-hand side on the screen, the Seine to the side of the river that cuts its way through all the way to La Manche, or the English Channel. So down in left-hand turn, we're going to make our way down underneath the underpass. We go diving down underneath the end of the gardens. The group are dropping in, just riding in with John Garfer at the moment. John, one of our regular riders here on the DCG, the gang member, and all-round nice guy as well. Always nice to have him on board. You can see we've got Finlay Hudson in here. Finlay, who has been 14 for more time than I can actually remember. This is a long time now. So the riders out the other side, making their way in and around, heading up towards the trip across the Place de Concorde, which is the open section just at the end of the gardens before we go on to the Champs-Élysées proper. So onto the hill, very shortly we go. Going to come underneath the traditional start-finish banner for the Tour de France, the lap banner, but not our finish line here today. Will we see another raft of confetti? Not necessarily looking like too many people, so the pace picking up slightly, but not maybe as fast as you'd expect. Only about 50% of the people getting a faster time at that time round. Love the fact that somebody's decided to open the can of worms that is the one and only crank length discussion. Oh my goodness. Maths and physics, but also a lot of ergonomics going on as well. So you might want to consult a professor in ergonomics. We do know a professor in ergonomics, a man for whom the world is not enough, Professor Neil Mansfield. I'm going to let you go on to that if you want. But personally, I stay out of it. It's a bit like trainer difficulty. Although, now that we have virtual gear shifting on a Zwift single sprocket, and that is done by changing the difficulty in the unit and the resistance in the unit, maybe that has just taken a little bit of a tinkle over the bonfire that was the turbo difficulty discussion, because it achieves changing gear for you on a single sprocket by changing the difficulty of the trainer. Let's think about that one. That will blow the mind of anybody who was banging on that you've got to be on the same difficulty. There you go. Got to blow some minds. That's nearly as good as crank lengths. Crank lengths. Yeah, anyone who's super short, yeah, why don't you all go buy 185mm cranks? And anybody who's like super tall, why don't you all go buy 145s? Or maybe you might want to have a bike that fits you. Might be important. That matches your physiology. That's probably the best bet. And don't believe that just because you bought a bike with 175mm cranks on, if it's a mountain bike, 172.5, that they're the right size. Because guess what? Manufacturers buy in bulk cheaper than they buy individually. So guess what? They are all going to get big discounts for buying all the same. So it pays for them to fit all your bikes the same. So never believe that everybody should be riding the same length cranks either. There you go. Right, let's not do that. That is enough talk of crank lengths, turbo trainer difficulty, or anything similar. All the L-shaped cranks as well. They are absolutely mental. You can make any shape you want. Where it starts and where it finishes, what matters. The longer you make it, the more bendy it'll be. Unless it's got a good cross profile. But that's a bit like saying that two tubes that have a thicker wall thickness will be stiffer if they're exactly the same diameter. No! Doesn't work like that. 36-inch legs don't match Douglas. Lord Greg Pilsworth with the side of your thigh, sir, biggins. Right. Our riders on the descent Everybody's rehydrated properly. Got my OTE with me here today in the studio because I had a long day of equipment testing today. Like 8 hours of equipment testing. All the bits of commentary that you don't see, all the glamorous bits. Testing studio equipment to ensure it's working come the gig. Always entertaining. It's what made me laugh when we had the Zwift dying us. It's one of the things we can't test very easily. There you go. Time for you to rehydrate. Back shortly. So hydration done. Time to see how the runners are rocking at the moment. Looking good at the moment. Group not really breaking up much. Here we are running very similar pace. Everybody needs to get off and check the bike crank length tonight. Yes, well, if you don't know what your crank length is, I suggest you should do, particularly if you're going to move from bike to bike. Because the biggest thing that will make a difference is making sure that you actually have the same length cranks on all of your bike. Mark Chaingnag, only 40% today. Yes, Mark, get well soon, mate. Want you back on form, buddy. I quite agree with Simon, aka Susan, that 95% will be at 172.5. That's because that's what people put on lots of different bikes for a long time, because everybody bought them in cheap from somewhere. 170 across the board for Chris Ball. Yeah, same for me. All my bikes 170. Always happy, even when on the crank. Yeah, not in the 90s they weren't, but in the 2000s they were all 172.5 pretty much. And in 2000 onwards. Yes, put your crank links on the Facebook page. Please do. With a photo proving it. Knock yourself out. Now, if you want... in fact, we'll get Tim, who works for us here at Full Speed Events, who sometimes rides on the Chaingnag. We'll get him to put his on because his aren't excessively long. He's got 177.5s, but he's absolutely huge. One nameless cyclocross national trophy winner rode a whole season with 2 different crank links on. That does not surprise me, Neil. Absolutely not. National Trophy Series winner with 2 different crank links on. Didn't really notice. Yeah, not good that really. So down the descent, under the underpass we go. Simon Wright just checked on his coffee break. He's on 170s. Very good. Did he have odd shoes on too? Oh, no, that would be impressive. Although, don't get me started on shoes at the moment. Maybe you have one leg longer than the other. No, if you have that, you're better off having spaces between your cleat and your pedal, generally. It does depend which bit's shorter, whether it's your femur or whether it is a little bit lower down. Yeah, I'd run lower than you, that's for sure. North Wave odd shoes, yes. See, odd shoes is fine. I'm quite happy with odd shoes, but not odd crank links. Same, it's got to be the same model of shoe though. So it looks like Dave Robertson this has got Rob Hardesty not all that far behind him, and I think Malik Taylor out on the run round as well. Vast majority though in the gang still in that main pack as they make their way across. Going to be running across the Plastic Concord. Traditional route that weaves its way in and through. It's where we get that traditional cable cam shot as they run along, and then onto the motorbike shot up through the centre of the group. And the gang looking good at the moment, just in with Hutch from the Rue Morgue. Wind them big cranks up, gang. How about biggest chainring you've ever ridden? That's a good one. So what's the biggest chainring you ever rode? Be very interested to see. Not pro. We know about the pros. Other than Russ, obviously. Russ can join this one. But what is the biggest chainring you've ridden? I know what mine was, but that was on a tandem, and that probably doesn't count. So what's the biggest chainring you've regularly ridden on? So I'm old enough to remember when it was all 42, 44. Sorry, 42, no, 42, 52s even. So that was before the days of 39s. I actually remember when you couldn't even get 39 on anything. And in fact, on the old Campac Spiders, the bolt said it was so big you couldn't get a proper little chainring. It was a 44, I think. The smallest you could put on the old Campac Spiders. They were that big. Them were days. Neil rode the gravel champs on a 52 chainring last year. That was an experiment. Was it a 54 inch track bike? Once came halfway with seat tube, maybe higher. Yep. Yeah. I get that. So on a tandem, actually ridden a 60 chainring on the tandem. 60-11, and we did regularly smash the living daylights out of it. But that was a tandem, and that doesn't really count. 53 is my regular chainring's 53.39. And then on the track, it was always a 50 chainring, to be brutally honest. Always, always, always. So 3 laps to go. 3 laps to go. The rider's going round the roundabout at the moment. Get around the Champs-Élysées, round on the Arc de Triomphe, down to the Place de Concorde, and back round again. 3 laps to go, ladies and gents. Well, the go has gone. Russ is taking the chance whilst there's a pause in proceedings to put the hammer down. Here we go. This is time to hit the throttle because you want to be out. Callum Craig right up on with the chase group on the front. They're chasing Finley Hudson, who's got the lead at the moment. Taylor's there as well. Remember, this is not necessarily one for the lightweights today. You're going to need some big power to hold on to the wheels. So Russ has gone. We've got just under 3 laps left to go of the circuit here. And this should be putting people in all sorts of trouble a little bit further back. And then keep on pushing, going over the section here past the pens. We're down onto this little section. There'll be a slight rise, and then we drop down and in. When you ride this, just getting the cadence right, absolutely critical. You can see everybody really winding here. We're at 49 kilometres now. We're in with Craig at the moment. And they've come steaming over the top of him right now because this is all about holding onto those wheels. Do not let a gap go. There's a gap gone, you are going to be in trouble, and you're going to be in trouble quick. Looks like the riders really starting to feel the pace, to feel the pressure. Tracy, the Terminator 2.0 is in here. She's got to keep working. Do not let those gaps go anywhere. The moment a gap goes, you are in trouble, as you can see now. Looks like Gidley, Flynn, Kirk, Gale, they're all at this. There's Johnson in trouble at the moment. Gidley's gone mental. He's gone as well. Craggle is in no man's land. Nate Kokin also now holding the back of this group. It's not going to happen today. Looks like Hilbert also in the danger zone when he's got Canham. He's with Dixon Lindley, Tracy Seeley in here. They've got to keep on pushing. If they don't move now, they're going to get distanced by the group. You've got to get in those wheels, and you've got to stay in those wheels. You let that gap open, you're going to be in trouble. You want to get some recovery in before you drop down into the underpass. So here we go, the riders making the way down in. You can just see this is our chasing group here behind Tracy Seeley. It is going to be Steve Hilbert, who's got to work hard here. Seeley goes on to the wheel of Fonseca, these two side by side here. So Alice Fonseca, Tracy Seeley dropping down this descent. They're going to kick up on to the climb here, and this is where they've really got to put the power down because everybody is kicking as you come up on to this section. You know that the gaps are going to start opening up near the front of the group at the moment. Looks like Steve Wilson in the mix there. Mick Clark is in the mix, so there's Henderson right up in with that front group. Can they hold the position? Can they move up even further? Well, it is brutal stuff now. After that cruise round, all of a sudden, once the go went, it has absolutely exploded. Sean Moore again, right up in the mix. Gary Sharp, I think I've got the wrong track length. Gary, I absolutely love you some days, mate. Absolutely superb. So, Moore tucked in with this leading the group at the moment. You can see the damage that's been done behind as the riders get distance. We're about to come in towards the track across the Plaster Concord at the moment. This group is absolutely nailing it on the front. They've got to keep the pressure on, or they will find that everybody's going to come back to them at the moment. It is a big old group in here. Now, going to take a little bit of a run towards the back of this group at the moment. So Caitlin is still in here. Williams is in. Patterson, Ted Sunnycliffe is in here as well. Lindley's just about holding the back of this group at the moment. And Lindley just moves up onto the side of Paul Mallon in the black. John Garfer in the blue. Looks like Izzy Torrey just tucked in here as well. You cannot afford to let the gaps go, though at this stage. Downing leads them through underneath the lap banner here. We should see some more fastest laps now. They should come snowing down, indeed they are. So you can just see so many riders now having them come through the line. Canham and Co, though, they are in trouble, as is Pearson, as is Goddard here. They're all in that zone where they're not on the back wheels of that leading group. I think Malin is at the back of that 55th, I suspect, as he makes his way up here. Indeed, 55 riders in the leading group making the way up this straight. So 55 leaders at the moment. Moore again doing the chasing here as Downing has gone up the road, and now we're seeing a kick by Jesse Yates. Yates has gone over the top. Does Yates think he can solo away and leave them all for dead? Again, he's gone early. He's gone on the climb at 11.9 watts per kilo. He's going to go over the top here with a gap, and he's going to make them all chase here. Jesse Yates, what a machine. He's kicked on hard. He's easing off now. He's eased down to 5 watts per kilo, ladies and gents. That is some speed, and that means that they now have their work cut out behind. They're going to have to chase as a pack. If they want to bring this man back, can they go after him? Oxenham, the nearest rider to him, but at the moment, Oxenham is not looking like he's going to be able to do this solo. It's 8 seconds at the moment to Yates. Yates leading out, then Moore in second wheel, and the blue and white goes over the top in this group. You can see that Pillsworth is in here, Nate's in here from Philippats. Mason is on board as well, Varty Mayland. They are absolutely nailing this at the minute. Some super fast times from the riders. Going to try and get some ride-ons down on to these riders here today. Well, apologies, ladies and gentlemen, but it looks like the Zwift update has indeed paid a final blow to the Donny Chaingnag for tonight. Apologies for that, but it is out of our control. Unfortunately, the new update seems not to like us tonight, so we will be back next week. Don't forget, you can join us. We're going to be bringing you the esports show on our regular Sunday show. That'll be myself and Emma. We'll also be bringing you the action on the BMX that is coming to you from Brisbane. We'll be back next week with the WoW Chaingnag and hopefully with the Donny Chaingnag. But for now, enjoy the rest of the ride, guys. I'm going to go now. Watch on Companion app. We'll see you soon.